Hey, I am so excited today. I want to share this with you guys. I've got a little while before I've got to get out and hit the streets and get to work, but I wanted to take a moment just to share my accomplishments with y'all for this last 6 months. And so I did the 120, now I do the 6 months. And I'm just extremely excited. For you, those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa Hill, and I became a real estate agent. If you do know me, you know I've been in the housing industry for over 20 years, but I've only been a real estate agent here for the last almost a year. It's getting ready to be a year, y'all. It's getting ready to be a year, y'all. And that's why I'm so excited. But anyway, so on 5/9, well, first, let me back up. I went and I took my class after years of people telling me that it was impossible, that it was hard, that a lot of people failed and everything. And I got psyched out and I went into the housing counseling, which I say God there's a reason for everything because that really played a big part and why I think it was just so easy. Okay. But we went and I got my certification as a HUD certified housing counseling agent, start helping families. The next thing I did in the housing industry, and I know a lot of y'all do know me from Ashley Furniture. I worked there for 10 years. But the next thing I did in the housing industry, I went to Clayton Homes and did manufacturing homes. Okay. And that was, again, helping families get into home, learning about the process, working with the county, zoning, anything dealing with building related stuff. So that has been another huge educational or a huge component to some of the stuff I was going to have to learn and needed to learn. And anyway, so then I decided that I would do real estate. Okay. Even though everyone had told me, it's the hardest thing in the world, people don't pass, a lot of people fail, it has a high failure rate, blah, blah, blah. Even after you get your license. It's like, okay, so these like scare me to death. Why don't you? Okay. But you know me. But anyway, so I took the class, and lo and behold, passed the class. Then I went and took my test, and lo and behold, passed the state and the national. Bam, immediately didn't have to take it again, which I was really grateful about. So then after that, I had to go find somewhere to work for. I signed up with Keller Williams for many reasons, education, training being one of the most important ones. And then the fact that I had someone that I can work with face to face, one on one. It wasn't going to be in a virtual reality or anything like that. So if I needed to talk to someone, I could sit down and do that. But I had this plan, and the plan was that after I got my provisional broker, within 6 months, I was going to get that post licensing completed. For those of you who don't know, after you get your license, you can you're a provisional broker. That means you're under supervision until you get more classes up under your belt. And they give you 18 months to do this. Well, I had a plan. I was going to do it in 6 months. So I get the contract back from Keller Williams and I'm reading it and it says 90 days. 90, 90 days, 90 days, not 6 months, 90 days. So I was like, okay, all right, I got 90 days to get this done. Well, you know me, the same way I didn't want to wait 18 months to get that done. I was definitely not going to wait 90 days to get this done. And needless to say, I got my provisional on 5/9, on 7/7. I had my provisional status removed. I got another letter from the real estate commission saying your provisional status has been removed. I felt like, woo, thank you, Jesus. Okay, one more thing behind me. 60 days, y'all, done. Okay. So what does that mean? That means from 7/7 until now, 6 months, August, September, October, November, December, January. 6 months, what have I been able to get done? I mean, I was able to get some things done in that first 2 months, but just know that it was hectic, right? So I had completed my classes, joined an agency, going through their training, taking my provisional classes, and trying to get clients. Anyway, so after that, for what the last 6 months, at least I didn't have their training to do. I still had to build a foundation for my real estate business because, like I said, a lot of people just don't make it even after getting into the industry. And after building the foundation, I was still having to look for clients, you know? So here's my update. This is what I wanted to update y'all with because this is my 6 months, right? And I want y'all to keep in mind, like, so April was supposed to be this big turn, like the market turned or shift, as they said in April, and things kind of started to slow down. Like it was really super hot, like, oh, oops, pss, pss, hot, as they would say when I got here, than fish grease. All right. But it wasn't as hot then. It's still warm, it just wasn't hot. And there is a difference from working in this arena than the other two arenas. In HUD, if people looked at Eastern North Carolina, I think I was maybe one or two choices. I had a girlfriend in Plymouth. She was doing it and I was doing it here. So when you think about Eastern North Carolina and in our little area over here, there wasn't a lot of people doing HUD housing counseling, certified HUD housing counseling agents. So, when they Googled, they found me and they was falling at my feet to get in the classroom and to get the training and all of that. And I was happy to help them. Okay, so go on to the next one. Clayton Homes. Think about it. There's about 5 or 6 companies here in the area that do what they do. Like there isn't a lot of competition. And to be quite honest with you, Clayton, Oakwood, and Crossland all up under the same umbrella. So regardless, the business, the company itself is winning out, whichever one of the 3 you go to out of the 6 or 5 options you got here. Okay. So again, people walking in the door, hey, I need some help. Now, granted, only about 20% of them was in the right place. And what I mean by that is those people wanted to buy a manufactured home. Their lifestyle fitted and everything. The other 80% were people that was looking to build that for whatever reason thought that they would come build a house where now we're requiring the same structural now you got the same structural requirements from HUD. And if you're doing a stick built home for the, you have to have the modular code, which is similar. It's got to be similar to whatever your stick built code is here in your area. So it's like, you want me to do the same thing for half the money. Now I'm going to save you some money because of the way things are done and how it is done off site. That's going to save you some money, but it's not going to be half the cost. So for those building companies, we were not the company for them. And for people who thought that they would come into the manufactured home arena and that all of a sudden all the rules and regulations for loans and lenders would fall by the wayside, that just was not the case. Okay. It was not the case at all. And what do I mean by that right there? Well, what I mean is if you go into the manufacturing industry, people are not going to just tell you you don't have to follow by the lending laws. Okay. You're going to work with the same type of lenders, whether they be conventional loans, whether they're going to be FHA loans, VA loans, USDA loans. It's going to be the same type of thing, y'all. Yeah, there's going to be some subprime lending, but there's subprime lending available in both arenas, whether you're looking at real estate or you're looking in the manufacturing housing industry. So it's not going to be some big super difference. So they was just at the wrong place. And for me, I prefer you go down the street, buy a house from the person you need to buy a house from, then instead of buying my product, and then in 5 to 10 years, be mad at me. Okay, because that's not going to work. I don't want you mad at me. So just, but anyway. So to get back on point, because I mean, I could talk all day about that. But 6 months, I've managed to get 3 listings and get 3 buyers in a home. Okay. And to me, this is big because ain't nobody falling at my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like there is not, just 2 real estate agents in Eastern North Carolina. There is not just 6 real estate companies and with real estate agents working for them in Eastern North Carolina. Like there are hundreds of thousands of agents in the state of North Carolina. There are tens of thousands of agents in Eastern North Carolina. And I have managed to do something, you know what I'm saying? Now I might be small because my hands were still kind of full, but these next 6 months, I got a lot of stuff behind me that allow me to focus even more. And I am so excited about what's going to happen. I can't even begin to tell you. And I will share it with you, just like I'm sharing this. But anyway, I got to go, guys. I just want to thank you. Thank you guys for anyone that has made a referral to me. I've gotten a lot more referrals than I've been able to get things done. But the housing counseling agent in me is like, okay, well, here's a plan we can put in place for you, because even though you're not ready now, you're gonna be ready in the future, and I'm gonna work with you. Okay. But anyway, I gotta go, guys, because I got a lot of stuff I gotta do. But I was just excited. I want to get up here and share this with you. And I want to just say this: no matter what your dream is, if you want to do it, do it. I allow people to scare me away by telling me something was impossible. But it's not. Nothing is impossible when you got God in your life. All things are possible. And I hadn't even told you this, but I'm gonna touch on it real quick. I woke up that morning for my test, open up my devotion, open the page, said, "It is written." I was like, "It is written. I'm going to go pass this test." That's the first thing I said. It's written. I'm going to go pass this test today. So I get there. The lady tells me about the two girls in front of me and how they hadn't passed and everything. I tell her about my devotional this morning. It said it was written, honey. I'm going in there and I'm going to pass that test. Now, I wasn't that arrogant, but it was pretty much like that. Anyway, go in, put my headphones on, pass test, pass state, pass national. Okay. Through God, all things are possible. And if you believe you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. And that's why it took me 20 years. Don't let it take you 20. Get out there, do it, go for it.